Bria here, and this stream probably looks a lot different because we have a strange man over there in the stream. But today we're doing another Nomad Chats. This is episode 4, so I'm excited to continue this series for you all. If you're interested in this content, please hit the like button, hit subscribe to stick along with me on my journey, and also hit the notification bell so that you know the next time that I post. But today we have with us Eugene, and I'm gonna let him go ahead and introduce himself. Hi, Eugene.
Hey everybody. Well, hey Bria, good morning. First off, I think it's like yeah, it's 11 o'clock our time. So first off, good morning. Happy to be here. Happy to be on your stream. A little bit about myself. Let's see. I don't even know where to start. So I moved here to Thailand October. Yeah, October. Right? No, end of August. Yeah, end of August basically.
Mhm.
I had basically left my job after 8 years and decided, hey, I want to just take a little bit of a chance and just come live out here in Thailand for a little bit, just to see what it's like, and
Yeah.
try my hand at some entrepreneurship, that kind of stuff. My background's IT, so information tech. So I've been an IT manager for pretty much the better half of like 7-ish years. And then, yeah, before that, I was living in Boston, Mass. So I've been coming to Thailand since about 2019. But
Mhm.
then C-19 happened and that kind of like derailed a lot of that. But yeah, I've been coming out here for quite a while. I love it. I love the place. But yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell.
Well, I know your name's Eugene. Can you tell us your age and where you were born?
Sure. My age is 34. So yeah, I'm a 90s kid. I'll be turning 35 this year. So I'm getting on with my age.
That's a
Started,
good
started to become an
age.
old man. Yeah, started to become an old man. And I was born in wait, I'm sorry, what was that second question? I totally blanked out.
Where were you born, or where are you
Okay.
from?
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I'm originally from California, but I moved to Boston at a kind of a younger age.
Hmm.
I'll still say that I'm a Cali boy only because uh, I never developed that whole Boston accent thing. So
Yeah, I would never even guess that you were from Boston, but I could definitely see Cali for sure. So they probably picked on you
yeah,
a little bit, saying you're not,
I
you
mean,
don't have the accent.
good. I don't want the
Yeah.
accent. Yeah,
So
but
we're
yeah,
gonna get into these questions. I mean, where did you live before moving abroad? I guess you kind of answered it because you said you lived in Boston and Cali, but you kind of bounced around to different countries, right? So other than you being in Thailand now, this is where you live. Can you tell us about some of the other places that you've lived abroad?
sure. So I was a DoD contractor for many years. So I left Boston in 2016, and my first, assignment, my first duty assignment was in Iraq. So this was a war zone at the time. So I stayed there for about 2 years. You're obviously not going out on the base, outside of the base to enjoy the locals. So I was stuck there, but I was pretty much in Iraq. And then I moved to Kuwait. So I was in Kuwait for about a year, and that's where I really got to like visit other countries because the airport was right down the road from the base. So I'd hop over to Dubai, the UAE, just to, go have a couple drinks, just enjoy myself. And then I hopped over to Bahrain for a little while. I hopped over to Thailand, this is where I was introduced to Thailand. I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to the Caribbean. Um, and then later I moved to Jordan, where I was for, a couple, like about a year and a half or so. And then, C-19 happened. And then, yeah, now here I am in Qatar. Well, I was in Qatar. Yeah, sorry, I was in Qatar for a few years. Again, hopping around all over the place in the Middle East, and then now I'm here in Thailand.
What was your favorite place in the Middle East that you visited?
Uh, so everyone likes Dubai, right? Everyone likes Dubai. Dubai is like the gold standard for international travel. That's where all the
Yeah.
digital nomads like to have all their YouTube channels and things like that. So Dubai, just from the area, like I liked in the Middle East, Dubai was pretty nice, but I really, really did like Qatar. I really like Qatar a lot. It was like a smaller Dubai, a much smaller Dubai.
Mhm.
So you'd see a lot of the same people, like if you congregated, at these nightclubs or these bars or these
Yeah.
lounges or even these hookah, like these really nice restaurants, you would see some of the same people like floating out and about. So it was, kind of a smaller country, which was kind of nice. But Qatar, it has its own beauty, and I really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed Qatar. Dubai was nice too, but it's expensive, as you could probably
Yeah.
imagine.
I went to Qatar, but unfortunately, I didn't leave the airport. It was like a layover flight. But when I was there, I was like, "Oh wow, this airport is really nice." If this is any testament to like what the country is like, I'm like, "Ooh, I need to get a trip out there to the Middle East and like spend some time there."
Yeah, actually, Qatar is a hidden gem, and
Yeah.
anyone who works in Qatar, I mean, like they're making out pretty well. Like they get the luxury of living in
Mhm.
Qatar, which has, the infrastructure is really nice, the malls are really nice, the buildings are pretty nice, the areas are nice. Um, versus like Dubai where it's gonna cost a lot more. I thought Dubai cost way more, but Qatar was just nice. It had really
Yeah.
good culture. Um, people are friendly, like it's a
Mhm.
melting pot. It's similar to like New York City. You have like a
Did
little
you
bit of
see a lot
everybody
of
all over the
nomads
area.
or expats there?
No, no, no. So in order to be in Qatar, you have to have a job. Like you can't
Okay.
just go there and just rent an apartment and then start living
Okay.
there. Like you need
Yeah.
to have a job.
Yeah. Something set up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting. I mean, you have a really well travel history. You've been around, so it's kind of interesting that you chose to kind of settle in Thailand at least for now. So, what originally inspired you to move abroad from the U.S. or from California or Boston?
So when I was in Boston, I pretty much hit like a brick wall. Like
Hmm.
there was nothing to stay home for, right? I didn't know about living abroad. I didn't know about any of this stuff.
Hmm.
That came much later. But 2016, it was like I have nothing going for me. Like I have to take a risk. I have to go get this money. I have to make this money. So I pretty much left, and as they say, the rest is history. But yeah, I didn't really understand living abroad until like I was probably like 2019 is when I started to like understand, because
Yeah.
that's when I came to Thailand and I
Hmm.
learned like, oh, you could buy a condo out here. I'm like, whoa, what? And I'm like looking around like, what? You could actually live by the beach. And then I saw the cost
Hmm.
of living and like how cheap everything was. And then that's what kind of like opened up my eyes to like living abroad.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting you say that because I came to Thailand in 2023 and I decided to stay for 6 months and traveled around a little bit, and it didn't really click with me that like, I mean, you can just live here, so I went back to the States and then I came back to Thailand, but that's when I decided like I could just get a 12-month lease and actually live here. So I can kind of relate to that feeling of like traveling abroad and being abroad but not really realizing like you can actually like just live here, like it doesn't have to feel like you're on vacation, or it doesn't have to feel like you're an outsider if you get somewhere to live and then you start working and you kind of like engage with the communities. So I think that's something that Thailand makes a lot easier for foreigners. Maybe in some other countries it's a little more difficult. Like you mentioned Qatar, you can't really just stay there. You have to like have a good job there. But yeah, it's interesting that you say that because a lot of people who are interested in maybe living abroad, I feel like they would benefit from just like traveling for a little bit longer than just like a 2 3 week vacation, like maybe
Hmm.
a few months, and like kind of see like if they can actually see themselves living there. So is that what you did with Thailand? You came here for a little bit and then you left and came back?
Yeah, so my first like experience with Thailand, like I came here in 2019. It was a boys trip, right? Everyone
Hmm.
goes to like Pattaya, right? So that's where I
Hmm.
started it.
Makes
And
sense.
yeah, I say that with biting my tongue. But anyways, yeah, ended up in Pattaya.
Hmm.
Um, and like I was there just hanging out with the guys, and that's when I got exposed to like how cheap everything was, right? Because
Right.
my hotel for like a few days was like $150. I was like, this is ridiculous,
Hmm.
right? And then just how cheap it was to just go out and have fun. Like I realized how
Right.
cheap it was. And then, came back a couple more times, and then I just again like hotels are cheap, everything is so cheap, the food's cheap, like everything is, and when I say cheap, I just mean cost, right? I'm not saying
Right.
bad
Like
food.
it's
But
affordable in
like
comparison. Yeah.
yes, super affordable. So then, that's what really got me off onto coming here because I never really stopped to think about it when I was in Costa Rica for that week.
Mhm.
Uh, and then before coming to Thailand, like a lot of my buddies were like, hey, if you're gonna come to Thailand, like make sure you go do all the Europe trips, the South Africa
Yeah.
trips, go do all that traveling because when you come here, you're not gonna want to go anywhere else. And
Yeah.
I came here and just I don't want to go anywhere else. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I stayed here for a month straight, like right before I left my W-2, stayed here for a
Mhm.
month straight to really understand like how it is to live here. So, you
Yeah.
know, uh, that's really how it started.
Okay. And that's kind of cool you mentioned that your friend said, "Oh, you should go do the other trips like Europe and Africa," because I feel like that's where I messed up. Like I came to Thailand and then I was like, "Nope, that's it. I'm just going to stay here for a year." And then now that I
Yep.
signed my lease here, I've been thinking cuz I'm always thinking towards the future. I'm like, "Okay, so what do you want to do when your lease ends? Like do you want to sign a new lease? Do you want to get a new condo?" And a part of me is like, I kind of want to do that Africa trip, you know? And I'm like, I probably should have did that before I kind of just settle down, but everybody's path is different, but I would definitely like recommend that to other people as well. Like definitely travel around a bit before you come to Thailand cuz once you get here it might be where you end up wanting to stay, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would highly recommend people go out and try different countries before they come here.
Yeah.
Because you get really, really spoiled when you get here. Like it's ridiculous how spoiled you get.
For
Like
sure.
and if you're going to live here long term, like I mean, it's just affordable. Like you could live long term in other countries,
Mhm.
depending whatever your flavor is. And when I say flavor, I mean region. Like if you're,
Yeah.
if you want to go to the Africa, if you want to go to the Europe, if you want to go to the Middle East, I suppose, or even Southeast Asia, there's other
Mhm.
countries here. But I just find that in terms of, you know, Western comfort, like creature comforts
Yeah.
like Thailand has it more than other
Has a
places, but I
lot
could
of
be
what we
wrong.
expect. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can agree
I
with
could I
that.
could be wrong.
I mean, I think each country kind of has their like affordable place to live, but definitely when it comes to like I don't know, maybe some modernization and I say this with a grain of salt, but I feel like Thailand definitely caters to a lot of Western, expectations. So it kind of works out when you come here because a lot of the things that we expect is available more easily and at an affordable price. But that could just be my opinion. I don't know. You got to come here and see it for yourself. Let me
Like
see.
one of the big things, one of the crazy things is like everybody has like a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
And in the United States, everyone's paying with their credit cards, right? They come,
Mhm.
they tap the machine, whatever. But over here, like everyone's paying with their cell phones. Like
Yeah.
nobody carries cards with them.
Right.
The Thai people, even the expats that live here, they have their phones. They do scan pay, and like it's
Hmm.
just phone to phone, and it works. They use QR codes, like it's crazy. We don't even have that in the United States,
Yeah,
and
they're
we're
like
supposed to
some
be
things is
far
like
more
way more
advanced.
modern. Yeah, like way more
Yeah, which is
advanced.
wild.
Even the transportation system I know is at least for me coming from Atlanta, Georgia, like is wild. Like it goes so far. There's so many lines. You can get everywhere. I'm like, that wasn't really a thing for us. We had like a small transit system, and like most people had to have a car, you know? So
Yeah.
definitely advanced in a lot of other ways. So that I guess that kind of goes into my next question. What were your non-negotiables when choosing to live abroad? Like what did you have to have as far as like your lifestyle, how you live? Like I said, for example, in my last video, that one of my non-negotiables was to have a balcony because I like to go outside but still be inside my condo. Some people have to have a gym. Some people have to have a pool. So like what type of things did you say like if it doesn't have this, I don't want to stay there?
Bare minimum, and I know this will sound dumb, but bare minimum, I wanted to have air conditioner and Wi-Fi. Like at a bare minimum, I could do
Yeah.
without any of the other amenities. But
Yeah.
when we were shopping for a condo, I wanted to have a gym, right? An on-site
Mhm.
gym for sure. Like it had to be a nice gym, not one of these like rinky-dink, two
Yeah.
treadmills and like a couple weights, right? So I needed to have that. And then I wanted to have a swimming pool, if not a few swimming pools, which I lucked out. I mean, the
That
condos,
yeah.
and like we got three swimming pools. I mean, if you don't
Right.
like the top one, you go to the bottom one, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, so
Such a luxury.
yeah, yeah, it really is. And then the at least next to transportation, like that was it. And then when I got here, like the amenities. at the cost, at the price point is remarkable. Like it's really good. And I live in a two bedroom, as you know, so like the second bedroom I converted into an office, right? So I needed to have that because I wanted to have my own office space.
Yeah.
Um, and and then like I find everything else, like I can go to the restaurants downstairs, and there's restaurants across the way, there's restaurants in
Yeah.
every direction. There's a nicer, bigger gym out and about, not too far from where I live.
Like you
And then
don't
I
even
got the
really
gym
need to like
upstairs.
leave where you live.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
exactly. There's no reason unless you want to go into the city to like
Hmm.
meet up with friends and have a couple drinks, things like that. But there really is no reason to leave the
Yeah.
condo. And I become a homebody. Like I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't like to leave my condo.
And being a homebody isn't so bad when you have all those amenities. You're like, I can be a homebody and still go to the gym. I can be a homebody and still, go eat some healthy food locally. Like so I think that's pretty cool. You can be a homebody and still go swimming. So, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see. Okay, we talked a little bit about it, but what did your career look like before coming to Thailand and now that you're in Thailand? What's different?
A lot. A
Everything.
very big difference. So before Thailand, I was an IT manager of sorts. I don't know, we'll
Mhm.
call it IT manager. So managing teams of 20, 30 people. So I did that for about 7 years. I was a systems administrator when I first got out into the Middle East. So I was handling tech stuff, servers,
Mhm.
operating systems, all the peripherals, devices, things like that. And then then I became a manager. And I did that for 7 years. And I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. It was challenging work. It was at one point very fulfilling work because it
Mhm.
was a challenge. It was something new, something I've never done. And I
Yeah.
got to interact with a lot of people. So it was really nice. Somewhere probably year six is when I started to get really burned out from everything. Um, it just didn't make sense, even financially. Like I didn't care about the finances. So I was like, you know what, I don't need this anymore. I've made my money. I've done my things. I did the thing, right? So like
Yeah.
I'm good now. I want to try something else. So
Yeah.
then I decided, hey, I'm gonna just quit and then go live in Thailand and then see how it turns out. So it was more calculus. It was about a year long like
Mhm.
process to get that all squared away. So now here in Thailand, my big focus is entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Working on building a finance community, working on teaching financial literacy
Mhm.
through my own YouTube channel and through I have a private community that I have. So I'm focusing on this stuff right now. So I don't have a job. I don't have a stable job,
You're an
anyways, and
entrepreneur.
yeah, it's basically entrepreneur life. You just kind of roll the dice and figure it out as you go. And yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a little stressful, but the what is it?
The
So
payoff in the
the
long
the
run.
journey, the journey is like the journey's in the challenge, I guess, is really
Yeah.
what it is. I'm
It's
having
not the
fun.
destination, it's the journey or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, something along those lines. So
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool because I feel like I'm kind of in a similar position because, I have my TEFL and I've taught English abroad here, but I've kind of taken a break from that and been kind of focusing more on the entrepreneurial side of things that I want to do because I think that it's quite easy to get kind of sucked into like the 9 to 5 job and then find yourself exhausted and not really having time to put towards like your entrepreneurial goals. So I can definitely relate to you on that. And, as long as you're being responsible, you have some type of savings and a plan, I think that this lifestyle can work for a lot of people. But I also want to talk about you making that move to just being like, I'm done with the 9 to 5 job. That's also something that I did because back in the States, I was working as a data analyst for a long time in healthcare analytics and it just wasn't working for me, didn't make sense. Like similar story, I just decided to move abroad. But can you talk a little bit about the struggle with making that decision? Did you have pushback from family and friends, people telling you like, hey, maybe you're going crazy, like you shouldn't quit your job, why would you want to just leave the country? Like, talk about that a little bit.
so I have a very, very good support system. In that nobody really asks, like, tries to tell me like not to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just go out and do it. Like that's just the way I'm wired. I'll figure it out as I go, and if it's a mistake, then I'll take responsibility for that. Um, so when I made the decision to basically quit my job, leave the security of a W-2, and just move abroad, like there was a lot more stuff going on with me personally. Like I wasn't happy where I was in life. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. Like there was no joy in anything, and the money couldn't convince me to stay. Like there was none of that. And when I decided, like I came to decision to just leave, I was like I have to do this. Like I'm gonna regret it if I don't do this, if I don't at least try. And I talked to a few friends, and they were like, "Well, why don't you work another year or two?" And I was like, "Because it doesn't matter. Like I'll just be a little more well off, but I'm still gonna be
Still unhappy.
miserable, pissed off, and like coming into work and just looking at a screen doing nothing. Like there's no reason for me to stay."
Hmm.
So I when I made the decision, it was like it was all me. And I
Yeah.
talked to a few people about it, and they supported me. They're telling me they could see it. They could see
Yeah.
me just being like totally miserable. So that was pretty much how it all went down.
Well, I'm glad you have a good support system and also, just advocating for yourself. Like, if you're not happy with what you're doing, definitely make a change. I think there's a lot of people out there who may not be very happy with their work situation or their lifestyle, how they're living, but oftentimes don't really want to put the work to make a change. And like you said, it wasn't just like an overnight thing, like a lot went into you making that decision and getting to the point of actually being here. So yeah, you just got to do the work sometimes. And do you feel happier now that you're in Thailand?
Oh,
More
I feel
mentally
way happier.
healthy? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I feel way happier. And to your point about people making that decision, like um, I think if people sat down with themselves and became more self-aware, and if they tell themselves, hey, they want to go do something,
Hmm.
if they put together a plan, like a real legitimate plan, and act on that plan, then they can follow through, right? But a lot of people they get stuck in the, just complaining about everyday life and not doing anything about it. So if they really wanted to make a massive change like that, then they have to be
Yeah.
self-aware that they have to put in the work to go do that thing, whatever that thing is.
Mhm.
So, for you, for me, for a lot of people out here who live out in Thailand, like I would say we're a lot more self-aware. Like we know
Mhm.
what we want to do, we know where we want to be, and we know what our lifestyle should be or what we want it to be. So we work hard to make it that way.
Right.
So yeah, just
Oh
my
yeah, it
spiel on
speaks
that.
for itself. Like you got to be self-aware and you got to be willing to actually do the work. Because it's one thing to be aware that you're not happy. It's another thing to be like, well, I'm not going to do anything about it. So
Yeah,
I agree with
exactly.
that. So with that being said, what does a great day in the life of Eugene living in Thailand look like? Like what is just like a regular, just great, wonderful day for you look like?
I like to wake up. I like to wake up early now. Like I
Mhm.
like to be on a regiment, like a regimented schedule,
Mhm.
because I'm trying to stay focused on this business and everything else. Um, as long as I can get to the gym, as long as I can go to the gym, eat, a healthy meal, cook something real nice, have a coffee in the morning, right? Have my own
Mhm.
coffee in the morning. Uh, like I don't know, like that, like my favorite. I guess I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Like the perfect day for me,
Mhm.
personally, right now, the perfect day for me is if I can wake up when I want, have a coffee, watch a sunset or what sunrise, go to the gym, uh, have a good meal, be able to take a nap in the middle of the day if I wanted to,
That's a big
right?
one.
That's a big one for me. Like
Yeah.
if I want to be able to take a nap, I can, and be able to work on the things that I care about, which
Mhm.
is basically the like doing YouTube like yourself and working
Mhm.
on everything else. If I could do those things, I'm a happy person. Like that's it. I'm
Yeah.
happy. That is a perfect day for me. I don't need all the other nonsense that does go on. I don't need any of that stuff. I'm happy just
Mhm.
being able to do these things.
The reason that I asked that question is because more often than not, the answer is like so simple. It's so like,
Yeah.
well, if I can eat something good, if I can go to the gym, if I can, be able to sleep enough, if I can, like, it's just very
Hmm.
simple answers. I feel like asking this question to people living abroad like us And then asking this question to like people back out west or back home where I live would be completely different answers. Like I feel like a lot of people think that like, oh, if you're living your best life, that means that like every day some like crazy adventure and you're seeing something new or you're partying with all your friends. I'm like, an average day, at least for me personally, that's great is I can wake up, drink my tea, I can do Pilates, I can water my plants, I can eat some good food that's healthy, you know. So I'm like, it's really nothing that's that like special, you
Yeah,
know. And I'm
not
like,
that
people are like,
special.
happiness is simple. Happiness is very simple, you know.
Yep, 100%. I agree with that 100%.
So let's see. What changes have you made personally since moving abroad? Maybe some things that you weren't handling as much at home. So, for example, you say you were really busy and sometimes unhappy. Were you going to the gym all the time, or is that something that you're doing now that you're here? Different things like that.
So back at my old job, had zero time, like literally zero time to go to the gym. You're working 12 hours a day, Monday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no time for the gym. Yeah, you can go on the weekends, but you know, honestly, the weekends are spent going out and partying and just filling it up with alcohol. So I will say, since moving to Thailand, I've substantially reduced my alcohol intake, which is something I really wanted to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I'm an alcoholic or anything, but just because what like now, drinking alcohol and having a hangover, it takes me out of the game for like 2 days.
Yeah,
I need
it
two
hits
days to
different
recover,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that could be time that is used going to the gym to do being productive, working on a business, or just
Mm-hmm.
enjoying your day. But no, instead it's like the days I do go
Yeah.
out and the days I am
Recovering.
hungover, it's like I'm laying on the couch the entire day doing
Yeah.
nothing. So I'm glad I completely put that off. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
do it as much like I used
Mm-hmm.
to. Um and yeah, now it's just, I get to do the things that I want to do. But yeah, I would say the biggest change is being able to go to the gym too.
Mm-hmm.
Because like health was one of the key factors of me deciding to depart my job, was because I wanted to at least have the opportunity to focus on my health.
Yeah.
Be able to eat proper food, be able to go to the gym, lift some heavy weights, and not be interrupted, or be in a gym that's packed with like 50 guys.
Yeah.
And in the Middle East, I'm gonna just say it, deodorant is optional. All right, deodorant is optional for a lot of people. Being in a gym with 50 sweaty guys is not fun. And I couldn't use the gym on the base
Mhm.
because I had to get home. So yeah, it was all this other stuff. It was
It
all
just
this
seems
stuff.
like it's more difficult elsewhere. Like here, it just seems like those type of tasks are a lot easier. Like eating healthy foods, much easier. You have much more access to it, and it's affordable. Going to the gym, every condo damn near has their own gym, so like you can just deal with the people in your community and not necessarily have to deal with everyone who has a membership or go to a gym with a membership. So I think that's pretty cool. I also relate to that. Like I didn't eat very healthy in the States because I worked a lot, and then oftentimes I would eat even if it wasn't fast food, it was just like eating out. And eating out in the States is like not really that healthy. Like eating chicken wings and eating Philly cheesesteak sandwiches and burgers and stuff all the time. Like I
Yeah.
was like, I can't do this. But it was easy, it was quick, I could feed myself and then I could get back to working and trying to make money. So that's something I also agree with here. Like I've slimmed down a lot just from like eating more fresh foods on a daily basis. So do you feel
Yeah.
like you slimmed down? Or you been in the gym, you're bulking up? Like oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think I
Mhm.
definitely put on a little more muscle
Mhm.
now because I've been going. I like the consistency has been there, which is what I was not able to do back then.
Yeah.
So the consistency is there. On top of just like food is abundant out here. Like food,
Mhm.
you can't walk 10 feet without finding a place that cooks something, right?
Exactly.
Um, so I will say that, yeah, just being able to eat healthy, have more options, and then being able to go to the gym, like that's been like
The big
mm,
changes. Yeah.
the biggest changes for me. Yeah, and slimming down, of course, because I don't, I'm not sitting at a desk for 12 hours a day without
Yeah.
the ability to walk anywhere. Like I can do
Mhm.
whatever I want. So it's pretty nice.
All right. And I know you guys have that awesome market. What is it called? Tongklan Market? Is that what it's called?
Tonsack, yeah, Tonsack
Sack
Market.
Market. Yeah, you could just leave your condo, walk down there, get something to eat, take a walk around, and come back. You probably burned off whatever you ate anyway. Who knows?
Yeah, yep, yep.
So I know personally that You're married, right?
Yes.
And I was going to ask, what's your dating life like? But instead, I'll ask you, what is it like being married, living in Thailand? Is it easy for you to find activities to do with your wife? Is there a community of other married people that you hang out with? Give me an idea of that because as a single lady here, I have no clue. Yeah.
uh well, I'll say marriage life is different. So I've known my wife for, 4+ ish years. So
Hmm.
we got married last year. And she's Thai, so she's a native Thai. So we met, and then let's see. I mean, the rest is pretty much history, as they say. But I will say, like living here in Thailand and being married, I think like she has a support system already.
Hmm.
Me, I had to go find my support system. Basically had to join a community. We're not part of any couple communities, or anything like that. Like whenever I go out in town and meet up people, I'll ask her if she wants to go. Most times, she's not interested, or she has to leave to go do daughter duties for her mom and dad. So, um, sometimes the timing just doesn't work out. I'll say for everyday life, it's kind of like just everyday life. I mean, we
Yeah.
watch TV. If we're not watching TV and having a meal together, like I'm working, well,
Hmm.
sometimes we'll go to the pool together. Sometimes we'll go play pool. Like other than that, yeah, it's kind of just normal life, like normal couple stuff.
Do you think there's any benefit to being married while living abroad versus, for example, just being a single person living abroad? Is there benefits to like any visa situation or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll say being married, like I'm working on my long-term visa right now.
Hmm.
So I haven't done any visa runs while being in Thailand, which is nice.
Hmm.
Not that I wasn't prepared for it, but I was. But yeah, having her, obviously she adds tremendous value to the relationship because she's a native Thai, so she could speak
Yeah.
Thai. It helps me out tremendously because I don't have to try to like wiggle my way through
Translate.
conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she translates a good portion of that, and then not only that, like she knows where all the best food is.
Right.
Like
She's
she
a
knows
local.
she knows where all the best food. Yeah, she's a local. She knows where all the best food is. Whereas everyone else we have to kind of like go out and try things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, I'll say that as far as having like a local partner, I guess.
Yeah.
The translation piece helps quite a bit, and then not only that, being married, having her help me with the visa stuff.
Okay. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, do you see yourself moving back to maybe the Middle East or just living in another country? Or do you think that Thailand, like, this is going to be it for a while? Like, you don't really see yourself leaving here for a while?
Well, I don't want to go back to the States. Not yet. I mean, I
Hmm.
miss family, I miss friends, just like anyone else.
Hmm.
But I don't plan to go back there anytime soon. As far as the Middle East, I'm not gonna say it's off the table, but I will say that, it's always an option. It's something to fall
Yeah.
back on in case things don't work out here.
Yeah.
Um, but in order for me to go back to the Middle East, like it would have to be worthwhile. It would have like I'd have to give all this up, to give
Yeah.
Thailand up, to go back
Do you
to the
think if
Middle
they
East
offered you a
working.
higher paying job that you would do it? Because I talked to a friend
Yeah,
recently, and she Aurora, you know Aurora, and I was like, "Would you ever
yeah,
go
yeah,
back, to Italy or anything?" And she was like, "They would have to be offering like some top, like they would have to top this lifestyle basically." And I think in order to do that, they would have to pay a lot in order to like
yeah,
you maintain this type of lifestyle, but also live there. What do you think about that?
yeah. I'll say everyone has a price tag. Like
Yeah,
everyone has a price tag. That's
yeah,
that's just it. Like I didn't hate my job.
mhm,
I didn't hate it. I just needed a change for a while. So this is
yeah,
that change. And if this doesn't work out, hopefully it does, because I want to continue to maintain this lifestyle.
hmm,
But in the worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, or if I get hit with something that's a better offer, I mean it'd
hmm,
be hard to say no. The alternative to both of those options is, uh, like I have friends still working in the Middle East, right, for different
yeah.
different places,
You still
different
have
companies, things like
connections.
that. Yeah, and like these relationships run deep. Like there's loyalty there, there's friendship there, there's like camaraderie there, there's
Yeah.
this type of stuff. if and they all know what I'm doing, so it would have to be one of them to be like, "Hey, guy, I need you to
Yeah.
drop the lifestyle and come back for a little bit." That would be the only other option. Like
Oh,
outside of that, no, I don't want to go back.
yeah, don't see it. All right, makes sense. So, if you were speaking to younger Eugene, maybe early 20s, would you recommend starting this lifestyle earlier? Or would you kind of follow a similar path of like, I'm going to work and stack a lot of money and then once you get a little bit older, move abroad?
Well, if I was talking to 20-year Eugen, which
Mhm.
is would be interesting, but I would say, well, because I say this because I was already in the service, so I was already in the system. So
Yeah.
it's not like I could have left at 20 years old.
Well, what about like
Uh,
18? Like before you
so
really got into any like system, job, anything serious?
I would say keep it on the radar, but at that age, it's like I would not be here today if I did not go through the
Go
things
through
that I
all that.
went
Yeah.
through, right? If I did not go through all those things,
Hmm.
I wouldn't have the savings to even start. So there's
Exactly.
that. Or even the expertise, the technical knowledge, or the drive or the ambition. I wouldn't have had all that unless I went through all that stuff. But I would say to 20-year or 21-year old, 18-year-old Eugen, stack your cash, save your cash. Don't
Hmm.
go out and buy stupid stuff because I did buy a lot of stupid stuff. Invest your money, and then that will give you the option later in life.
To
If
go
you
abroad, yeah.
decide you want to do something, yeah. If you want to decide you want to go out and explore the world, making those wise choices early in life would have been far better.
Yeah. I kind of agree too, because at first I thought I would tell younger Bria, like, yeah, just go travel. But then when you think about it, I'm like, with what money? Like, you need
Yeah.
some money to travel. So I'm like, when I think about my early 20s, that's when I was like working the hardest. I had like three jobs. I was stacking a lot of money, but I feel like I wasted a lot of money because mentally I wasn't really thinking about like going abroad. I'm more so just like, I want to take a trip with my friends. Like, I want to go to the beach or something. Like, it was more so like that vacation mindset of like, I'm gonna stack all this money whenever I get a chance. I'm gonna try and take a trip with some friends. But I wasn't in the mindset of like if you stack all this money, like you can literally like move out of the country like sooner than later. And I'm seeing a lot of younger people doing it as well. Like people, well, we even have Landon. He's 21. We have people in their early 20s who are like making the move, and it makes me think. I'm like maybe they were working and actually stacking their money with the idea of like okay, I'm gonna leave the country, and that's why they were able to do it at such a young age.
But here's another point. Here's another point. There was not a lot of travel content back in the day. Like
Yeah, we didn't see
way
this.
back in the day, there was no digital nomad. There
Hmm.
was just known as remote workers, right? But no one's making YouTube content about remote working, right?
Yeah.
So it was like this evolution that happened, and now
Mhm.
there's travel tube, right? There's digital nomad tube. There's all these
Mhm.
YouTubers who are just talking about traveling and living abroad. But like way back then, there wasn't any of this. Like
Yeah.
YouTube was still in its infancy, and like now it's so prevalent. And now we think, oh, I wish I knew this earlier. It's like, well,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know,
I feel
didn't
that
exist.
100% because I didn't. I used to search so hard, like looking for different like people traveling, people living in Thailand, and now you can't turn on YouTube without seeing a video. You can't go on Instagram without seeing somebody. And even if it's not Thailand, it's just living abroad in general. So you're right. Like this community has completely like blown up. And so maybe that's why we're seeing more and more younger people doing it because they have access to the information and access to seeing it being done and people giving help and advice on how to get a visa, how to do all that stuff. Because when I was looking up how to get a visa, I was terrified. I didn't even realize I could just walk into the country on a tourist visa. I had to do so much research to feel comfortable enough being like, okay, I'm just gonna show up in a foreign country and be like, hey, can I come in? So I don't know. I think it's awesome that we have YouTube and all this information. YouTube is literally like the new TV. Like I don't even barely watch anything but YouTube content creation, like trying to learn as much as I can about different topics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, so what advice do you have for people who are interested in the nomad lifestyle, living abroad, or just moving to Thailand? Is there anything that you want to tell the people watching this video?
Uh, if anyone wants to become a digital nomad or move to Thailand or move to any foreign country, make sure you budget yourself out. And whatever you think your budget is, probably 1.5x it or two, right? If you think you only need $1,000 to survive, no, 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 you need
Yeah,
2,000. All right.
yeah,
It's just it's unexpected expenses will come up, things like that.
mhm,
So be prudent, be very like research what you will actually need, have a real budget put together before you even decide to come out here. The second
yeah,
part is have income before you even make that move as well. Don't because there's a lot of people, myself included, that we'll leave something to go make it big out in, become a digital nomad, something like that. But we have no income. And that pressure starts to build like, no, you need to start producing, you need to start making money, you need to start doing this and that. So
yeah.
have investment income, have rental property income, have dividend income, whatever, have some other type of income coming in that can at least alleviate that pressure, e-commerce, drop shipping, uh, whatever else, right?
Anything
Whatever else is out
online,
there.
honestly, will do. That's what I usually say.
Yep.
Find something online to do, so that you can work from anywhere for the most part. Um,
Yep. Yep.
but yeah, that's some amazing advice. Um, I wish that my YouTube channel was like blown up before I got out here, but I had to just kind of take the leap and be like, let's just see where it goes. But yeah, I think that's great advice to people coming out here. Have a savings, have a ways of making some money, and then you'll be all right. You'll make it work. So
Yep.
I apologize, y'all, if you hear any knocking in the background. I guess my neighbors decide to do construction while I'm live. It's just a regular day in my life. But this has been a great interview with Eugene, guys. I have the to his channel in the description of this video. It's Eugene Vasquez. He does wonderful content of financial advice that you guys can go check out if you're interested in getting your money and your coins right, or if you're interested in investing. But if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll leave it to you, Eugene. Is there any last words you want to say before we get up out of here?
If you think you can do it, go out and do it, and then figure it out. That's my last piece of advice.
Well, you guys heard it from Eugene himself. Go subscribe, show his channel some love. And if you guys didn't catch the live, make sure you catch the playback. Thanks for joining us and peace. Thank you, Eugene.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye, guys. Peace.